Joining me live now, Simon Jackman, CEO of the US Studies Centre. Simon, good to have you along as always. I can't think of a more important first 100 days, certainly in recent times. You're a student of history, I'm sure you'll tell me, but how are you marking Joe Biden?
Look, it's a remarkable 100 days, to be honest. Increasingly, I'm looking for historical analogues. Lyndon Johnson, perhaps Dwight Eisenhower, in terms of this rallying of the nation around a grand purpose. And that purpose is, as Biden said in the speech to Congress, the fight for the 21st century, to show the world that democracy still works. The suite of spending programs he is announcing is nothing other than sort of the biggest expansion of the state since Lyndon Johnson's Great Society of the mid-60s. And of course, Tom, he has the political tailwinds of a stronger than expected vaccine rollout. The ambition was for 100 million jabs in 100 days. We're at 200 million. Now, to some extent, he is the beneficiary of Project Lightspeed, the Trump-Jared Kushner project to make sure, no stone was left unturned in terms of getting vaccines ready. Turns out that, it's the Biden administration that's presided over the rollout of those vaccines that developed under the last administration. But in terms of not letting a crisis go to waste, this expansion of spending to not just recover from COVID, but to propel the United States back into this contest for the 21st century, it's a truly remarkable sort of position the United States is in just 100 days into this presidency.
So much focus on that recovery now. I suppose the shorter term element of it, I know we're starting to talk about our own debt levels. When you mention there this project of making sure people realise democracy can still work, how much attention should we be paying to the debt that the US is racking up right now, and if there comes a day of reckoning for this?
Yeah, it's a great question, Tom. For now, that conversation is pushed to the sidelines. It seems the United States, no one in Congress is particularly too fussed about the deficit implications of this. And indeed, right, the really interesting political moment right now is how to pay for it all. And that's where the proposals about raising the company tax rate off that very low level that Trump and the Republicans in Congress took it to, proposals to return the top income tax bracket that used to be there before Trump as well. But there's not a ton of political enthusiasm for that at the moment from either side. I think right now people are focused on, look, the US is happy to run these interest rates are low. That tends to be the narrative that these debt levels can be taken on for the time being. And there's a sense that, look, there is a great moment of crisis confronting the US, both sort of its recovery from COVID. I guess the thing that we're focused on, Tom, is here in Australia, and particularly for us here at the US Study Centre, how much of that spending and that rhetoric about a contest for the 21st century, it gets back to the dollars question you're asking, how much of that translates into, frankly, spending on defence and kit that is going to come to this part of the world. And there we are still yet to see. There's a lot of money going out the door. How much of it translates into presence and the projection of power this far from the American homeland, that remains a work in progress, and something I think from an Australian lens we're laser focused on here at the US Study Centre.